So I have officially been asked what programs I use to animate, like at least 10 times, I think, both in comments and by friends and family. Now, I'm not annoyed by it. I'm not saying like, ugh, how dare you ask me questions, yeah! But having to explain it all those times has kind of got me thinking. I use a lot of like free or relatively cheap stuff to make these videos. Meanwhile, you always hear people complain about how like Toon Boom costs $1,000 and Adobe's like stupid monthly subscription, and they charge you $200 if you want to cancel it. That's neat. So I'm going to show you how to get started with just art and animation on a budget. I'll also go over my process for making animations, but got an important disclaimer for that. This is not a tutorial on how to draw or animate. It's just like showing you programs and stuff you can get that's cheap to get you started, and just how I personally do my stuff. My art and animation looks like this, so if you want to learn how to do any of that on a professional level, you're in the wrong place. There's a million tutorials out there that teach you this stuff better than I could, like actual published books. Like, really think, would you rather learn how to animate from the guy who did this or this? That also goes for any program I show you in the video. This is not a tutorial on how to use those. You can find, there's a million places to go to that explain it better than I ever could. And my credentials for this, if you could call it that, is that these are my most viewed videos right now. If any of these are familiar to you, I went to community college for 2 years majoring in digital art, and by some miracle I passed and got a little associate's degree for that. Like all these class projects you see here got A's. And finally, I mean, I've gotten far enough to make money off of what I do. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, $100 a month. You're so jealous. Don't worry, I supplement the rest of my income by getting really, really lucky with scratch tickets. I'm fine. All right, let's see how I do this. All right, so let's get the stuff that did cost me money out of the way. That is my, hey, get off, get off, get off, get off. Fine, stay there. Whatever. All right, he's sitting on my friggin' laptop. There's my frog sticker. That was, forget how much that was. Shut up. I will put however much that cost on screen. That tablet, that is a Artist 12 Pro. Depending on where you get it, that'll cost you like $170 to $220-ish. Please be kinder to yours than I was. You can see all the scratches there from going too rough. That electrical tape around the thing there is because I need that to keep the little outer casing of the part that connects to the computer on. Like at one point that just slipped off and got stuck in there. I needed pliers to get it out of the little port there, and now occasionally I need to like jostle that around to keep it connecting to the computer, and that's just my life until I get sick of it and order a new one. So anytime there's been voice acting in one of my videos, ever since this stupid Brian Griffin one I made, which actually made to test out this mic, everything since then has used this. This is an HyperX Solocast. It's gonna be around like $40. The suppressor here is a separate thing, or pop filter is what that's called, but that's gonna be like probably like $15, I think. I don't know. I'll put however much it is on screen. While we're here, this table we're on is like a sort of artist drafting table or easel thing that can it can flip up. Like when you see the pictures of like animators working, it can turn into one of those. But what I used it for was this stop motion video I did. This was the sort of stage that I had those on, and we'll actually pull some out. Just left all the stuff I use in here. Here's a clay figure. That clay is, you can get it at Dollar General for literally $2 if you want to do stop motion. It's the 4K camera I have. This was like in the $100 range. This tripod was won by my dad won it in an auction, but you can get one of these for like $15, $30. It's not that bad. I also have Vegas Movie Studio 17, which is supposedly a neutered down version of Sony Vegas that's like missing some of the effect stuff, but it has the bare minimum of what I need. It's usually around $200, but they're always doing holiday sales where it goes down to like $80, so you can try and catch those. Sometimes Movie Studio refuses to open on my computer, so if that happens, I'll use this other one that just comes with Windows called Clipchamp. So if all you need to do is like combine your scenes together, then this is serviceable. And there's also like free editing programs you can find, like DaVinci Resolve, I think, for computers, and then a bunch on mobile. So I'll have them to just like, and I can just lay in my bed while I work on, just make stuff on my phone. CapCut is the most popular example of this. I used that for any like shitpost stuff I made for a while, but it's the same company as TikTok, so it comes with the same like shadiness that they have. If you want to avoid that, all the title and ending cards in my recent videos were made in an app called VN. That's free. There's a free version of it. And this whole first section of the video that was just me talking was compiled together in another free app called InShot. You can get a free version of these, and if you can put up with just ads being ran on it, then these are both pretty reliable. So basically, you can get like the tablet and microphone combo is just $200. That's assuming you already have like a computer, but if you don't, just add like that $400, so $600. And the rest of the stuff I mentioned is kind of extra, like you don't need it, or you can find an alternative. But even if you put all that in there, that's under $1,000. Everything I listed, if you just buy all that, it's cheaper than one Cintiq or Toon Boom. Just work any minimum wage job for a month and you could afford all this if you're like reckless with your money. Plus, I didn't even have to buy most of the stuff, just the camera. The rest of it is I asked for it for either Christmas or my birthday, so mommy and daddy bought it for me. also this is just if you want to get the exact like combos of stuff I have. There's other methods of getting material or whatever. So I have a friend who does commissions, and every picture I'm showing on screen right now is something he drew on his fucking iPad. So if you have one of those laying around, or you have $300, just buy a little stylus thing. You can get Flip a Clip for free and go to town. Or you still have your DS from when you were a kid, you make something in Flipnote, get one of these little SD card adapters, get it on your computer, go to this site here to convert it into a format that people actually fucking use, and there you go. You can make a living just making little cartoons with Flipnote. There's people who've done it. So basically, yeah, just any method you can think of that works for you. Either way, there's a bunch of like cost-effective options to get into animation. Everything else I use is completely free. Audacity for recording stuff, which seems to be what most people use, that's free. I use a mixture of Krita and OpenTunes for drawing and animating. Those are also free. A little fun fact, OpenTunes was originally developed to help with Studio Ghibli movies, like they commissioned the software. So the same program that helped make Spirited Away was used to make a video of SpongeBob drinking cum. Just want to point that out, it's funny. There's other cheap options, again, like I mentioned Flip a Clip, but Blender exists too, and that's free. Even though it's pretty hard to learn, there's tutorials. If you just want to do art, like there's some non-animation programs like Fire Alpaca, I think is free. I always hear people cream their pants over Procreate. That's just a one-time purchase of like $12. There's others you can look up and see what works better for you, but this has gone on long enough. Let's see how I make this crap. Alright, first things first, we need our audio, whether it's we're recording something or ripping it. This is Oni Plays audio I ripped, and you can either just get like a YouTube MP3 converter, or you could just record it with desktop audio and Audacity. Make sure you have these two settings if you want to do that, and let's see what we got.
Oh, nice, there he is. Big fucking rap.
So that is one line of dialogue. We're going to thinking the actual thing I cut out Dave's little part there, but we highlight all this, then I'm gonna export. Make sure you do export selected audio, because if you just do any of the others, it'll still save all the recording even though you just highlighted it. Let's name it something. I like to do wherever name 01 to just so it's easy to keep track of and it comes up in the order I need it. So we have that. We'll delete this so it's out of the way, and then you just repeat that until you've got each little part of the audio that you would want to lip sync, like split into its own thing. Alright, so we have OpenTunes pulled up. I just took a project file I already did, but like just imagine this is blank when you get in. So the first thing you would do is all your audio pieces you recorded, you can just drag and drop them in here. Like just get out of your file folder, drag and drop them in here, and I kind of just have this as its own column for all of the audio. We'll see. Oh yeah, this little chip in that border there that indicates that this is where one recording stops, and this is where the new one starts. You can see it's the Teenager in 2006 video. I figured of all of these, that's the one people would want to see the making of the most, but so this is Krita, open in here. I draw every asset in this, and any little frame by frame animations also done in here, so we can see this is that same drawing of the clouds. It's a still image. We go in here, go back. This red rectangle here is like your camera, so we can see this. See how it pans through like that. There he is. You might notice he is not present in this because he is just his own drawing that I did separately and just laid it over top, so I can kind of have more control of dragging him around. Except I didn't actually tween him here. You can see how he is manually dragged up frame by frame. That's something I like to do. It's the same idea as tweening, where you don't have to draw a different thing each time, but I think it's easier to give it like life and energy like that. It's not like robotic. So my little strat is, so this is him, like he's starting to come into frame. He goes significantly further up, more significantly further up, but this last frame here is he just kind of slightly goes up more. That gives him the effect of like kind of easing in there at the end like that. And then this goes fast enough, I just didn't bother. Also, so you got your keyframes. You can right click and just set key for when you want to do that, or if you just like you want to just jostle this, see it made a new keyframe there. Have removing parts. Also the title was thrown in editing. That's not here. Let's go. Oh, yep. Forgot he is transparent. Didn't bother bucket tooling him in. So you got this. You can toggle that on and off. If you want to save stuff as PNGs, you can just do it here. I'm sure other programs do something similar. But thankfully that does not matter too much, because here, see the OpenTunes background here is white, so when we put the transparent thing over top of it, it just shows it as white anyway. That's fine. And also, so you notice like the drawing's in 4:3, but this is full 16:9. It's because in OpenTunes, if you want to have something be 4:3 aspect ratio, it also forces the resolution to be like accordingly low. So I would have to have this only in 480. I wanted people to have the option to watch it in HD while still being cut down for like authenticity because of what it is. So rendered it like this and just cropped it in editing. So let's see what's also down here. There's more of this. Let's pull that up in Krita. Nope. So this is how that looks here. You can see it's our sort of fake 3D perspective of whatnot, kind of going down this road. See, there's no background there, so I could put just a separate cloud backdrop in. See, goes all the way like that, and then you can at like 2 frames a second. Oh boy, we can have it like pan down like that, add more to this like sort of 3D effect I was trying to go for. Again, he's a separate drawing here. The wheels, little line marks on the wheels move differently frame by frame, and so we come back out. And it's the same thing, just mirrored for him coming down the road. He's a similar deal where, whoop, that's further back. So there's this, and then we have just him as like that little, because he's a separate little thing. I just did those two drawings, save them as PNGs, and you can flip them back and forth like they're. This is him. So yeah, just so these are in their own little column there. Alright, so we're on this. Let's go to that in here. Here that is here. There is 3 frames of it for the zip line kind of vibrating like that. You'll notice he does not have his mouth. He's missing that. So but it is in here. Let's look at it. Is it this? I guess so. On the very right here, we can just see the frames like just as they are. So that's one mouth of it. This is supposed to be like for E sounds, for O sounds, and so on. So cool thing that I like about OpenTunes is, so you draw your 10 mouth shapes there. You can come here, click this, go like that. You can just have the program do the lip sync for you. You need a plugin called Rhubarb, which you can just get for free off of GitHub. And then, so you pick which file you do. This is why I saved each line of dialogue as its own thing, so I can do this. And you can type something in here to sort of help the program discern what's being said and lip sync accordingly. You would click apply, and then it like puts in the right order, except it's not perfect. Sometimes it screws up, like, so this little gap where it's also did point that out. So this is, so like this sort of, you have the 1 kind of goes down, that discerns which frame it is and how many frames it's on screen. You click this little thing at the bottom to drag it out for duration or whatever. And so this means that it holds on the closed mouth for that long, this many frames, but it's fine here because this is just where you actually like stop talking. But sometimes you'll get bits where stuff that's supposed to be saying multiple words will just have a block like this because it didn't bother lip syncing that part. You have to fix it yourself. Actually, I think this might be like I just did this by myself because it didn't get then it did really bad like figuring out what he's saying, because like the music in the background of this and in other owning places where they talk over each other a lot messes the lip syncer up. Then so I made this little green hill a separate beast from the full background here. So we can, so more sort of 3D. This is closer, so it slides faster. See him in the back there. Also helps. And what is this? Okay, so yeah, so because he's like that, you know. Let's open that in. Here's how that looks in OpenTunes. There it goes. So his Thrasher shirt, I just took the actual decal and plastered on later, because you can just import images into this like that, but a lot of times it kind of lags it out and crashes it, so I try to avoid that as much as I can. We have, so here, this is a different mouth. I just did all this to lip sync by myself because he just says a couple words. It's not too bad. So here he goes. Go through here. Yeah, and it stops when he gets there, because so when we look at that, yeah, see, so it pans away from his mouth for like the ending part of this, so it like there's no point in doing his mouth if it's not even gonna be on screen. Let's see it pan down to. So we have that to the tune of the song. Oh my god. So I just stole the gradient offline, oh boy. And what's cool about this is, so I just had to do autosave. That's what that is. It's trying to do. So I could just copy paste one of these mouths to the other one because they say the exact same thing. That's cool. Oh. This is what fucking breaks, because I just put the actual fucking Naruto footage over top of this, just in here. Because for some reason I didn't want to just wait for editing. So that fucks us up, probably. Here is, let's pull that up in this. Oh, here's that. Also, how it kind of pans. This is also not a tween, I just did that myself. So here's how that looks in here. You'll notice did not bother drawing his body for this first part because it starts zoomed in. This part is cropped off originally, and then he kind of he shakes around a bit. So how you do that in Krita, it's not, you can't do tweeting in this, but you can do my little fake tweeting I like. You click this icon here and you can drag him around, you can squash him up and down. That's just your free drag tool. Let's fix him. And then he does that bounce. So this is a little mind trick for you. If you just do that, it's just another drawing. That the bounce kind of deludes you into thinking there was more movement there than there was. So you see that sort of kind of bounce trick in like a lot of older internet cartoons from the time that this is kind of trying to harken back to. Like Odd Ones Out does it. Now you know how they do it. Here's our solid background here, because let's scroll down to that. Is it this? Yep, see, we just have this, that, and that, just pre-made stuff. Let's see what this is. See, so it was very important to bucket tool the white here, because otherwise he would be see-through in front of his Hot Topic here. We can actually see a part where I fucked that up, kind of showed him talking about later. But yeah, that's something you gotta really try to remember if you have your white drawing canvas. It's an easy thing to forget because it's just already white, looks like. But you still need to bucket tool that. Here is, this is more of that bullshit. I just put the actual jackass footage in here for some reason. So let's see how that looks. See, in here it's just blank screen. And then up here it's jackass, so it's kind of so then it's not as nothing going on. Just have this still image because you have there's something moving. And then here they are. It's the same thing where you can just copy the exact same lip sync because they're doing it in harmony. Let's actually watch the sort of bounce thing in motion. So we'll show that. So we'll show he squashes down. We should be able to see the layering over here. All three of these kind of have to be their own. Actually, wait, I think. Oh yeah, he doesn't have to move at all, so he's just part of the TV. Okay. And then there's him squashing up. We'll see how that looks in motion. Oh, and this part, this is probably one of my favorite things in this whole thing. I like how this sort of turned out. So there's Tony Hawk just in here. Matt Hoffman, him is the same thing where he says the one bald, and then something blocked by their like gorilla noise sensor sound. So that's the 4 syllables. That wasn't too bad. I just lip sync myself. But like if it's a full like line, if there's anything you do want to automate about animating, it is that, because it's such a simple yet mind-numbingly tedious thing. That's just like, I would rather use that time to like figure out how to do the like hard stuff and get that over with. Just personally, he squashes. So here, because this is him saying I can't remember his name, so that's a few more words. I just did that lip sync with the program there. Then here he is, and then so all of that is just, it's still images in there. I did my little tweening also. So these arrows here are, if you hold on, if you like right click here, that is sort of, it's ease in and ease out interpolation, which like it's really finicky in this. You can only do it if there's a certain amount of space between keyframes, but that's how you get where they kind of like accelerate and slow down, which is good. Sometimes it makes panning look a little better. So let's see how this looks. So that's how that works. So this is the keyframe for him being all the way over there, and then it snaps back over here for him to pan in the same way. And then this whole thing where it's like moving past the checkerboard is inspired by, there was an Edgeworld music video thing that's actually from 2006 that has similar effect. I think it looks nice, and it's indicative of the time. Also, similar thing, this Curious George movie came out in 2006, so that's why that's there. And so that's good that he's his own thing in the background is a good thing, so you can actually have it like go behind him, doesn't like obscure him at all. So he comes in. So then here's I'm skipping past the Bliss background. Let's see how that looks. Here's how that looks here. They come up, down. It'll fucking load. Alright, there he goes. When they come up, his leg it's a different leg that's in front. That doesn't really register too much with this, like his black pants. So it's like that. Let's see what's next there. Whoop. Oh, and then this writing is also its own like separate file that can just, so I can just have it tween through. Ooh, it froze, like a more fucking Naruto footage put over that. That's such a good idea. This program can totally handle me doing that. It's great. Here's how that looks here. So actually, something I had to do is, so his hair, this is kind of bad composition. This is why this is why I don't want to teach you like animating device. Like, he should be further away so this doesn't connect. It fucks with, like, I'm trying to do like sort of perspective, like this is in the back, but you have this, and then so where his hair should go, it should go like, maybe we can see my little hacky like bucket tool fuck up here. So it goes into the TV a little too much, so when you look at it, so even though this is all one drawing, the way I still got his hair to like kind of go over top of that, not to, it doesn't look like there's just, it's like caught in the screen there, is, let's see it. This green little column here, it means I clicked this brush and actually drew something, so I filled in his hair with like that, but I don't just draw in OpenTunes, because the way this works is, oh my god, that I don't like that. I need it to be just instant. so we have that. Let's see what else is here. Oh yeah, another thing where it like pans out to reveal this. I don't know why. Don't know why I just didn't. It could have just had one frame, or I guess two, for his drum animation. I don't know why I just didn't just already. Oh, that's right, because they changed their faces. That's right. And then, so when you get to this is. So by this point we have like, so there's. That's another sort of shortcut thing, is there's only like 70 unique frames, and there's just certain ones are on screen for like certain amounts of time to stretch it out. And so my computer kind of like, once you get to this many like frames of something, it kind of starts slowing down, straining the computer. So save that as its own thing here. Then let's go to part 2. It is this. This is a weird thing. It's like a mix of like kind of like dragging him across the screen and frame by frame. So if it'll let me in there, see a sort of smear thing where he's like stretched out, his fingers are bent back like that. Comes all the way over here. That's him squashing down, but these are all new drawings. I think. Nope, those are new. And this part's different. I just had to add more to his legs for him to be taller. Comes down, it's the same copy paste of that same frame there. Comes back. This is a weird little thing here. See, he jumps. That's all just one drawing that I rotated, and then so here's his Naruto run down the hall. Let's see how that looks in here. I actually bothered to kind of put the effect to show that this is the other leg in front this time. And he trips, kind of slides a bit. Let's see how that looks. Is it this? No, it's not that. I think it's this. Yep, see so this is the file for the lockers as their own thing in the back, so they can pan through like this. And then I kind of just, instead of him like sliding, this looks more like tripping, to have him like rotate away like this. And then this bully is meant to be the main dude from High School Musical, because that came out 2006. Was trying to go for that. I don't think it looks like him. I don't even think his character was that. He's like a actual like rotten bully, but I don't know. I still think that's a fun like stupid face. I still like this design, even though it doesn't really indicative of that. More camera pan shenanigans. He's supposed to look like he's sucking the emo dick, but that's not. It is just his trombone, because he plays a trombone in real life. Aren't I smart? Here's this. So this specifically, it's Fred Fredberger from Billy and Mandy, because they had he was like Cartoon Network's mascot for a little bit in 2006, where it was just him over a red background saying bullshit. A lot of ads of that. Sonic 06. Dude, this is blanking out. What year did Sonic 06 come out in? Help. Here's our dumb looking Steve Irwin. So, wait, no, that's up here. You have 3 frames to see this fucking Stingray come in. I held a community tab poll to ask if this was in bad taste, and a overwhelming majority of people said no. So I don't have to take full responsibility for that being there if you're mad at it. Here is traced over a infamous picture of a LAN party, is what this is called. There's someone else made a trace where it's Family Guy characters in the positions. So the Halo 2 footage I put over this was actually did that in post like a normal fucking human being. Cause this is Counter-Strike here, and also it's a still image, so it doesn't move. So there you go. What else is down here? It's Madagascar with Alex the Lion. So that's what this character is. This is how Blaze the movie fan like draws himself, and he's a separate thing. Cause I forgot to put him in there, and it's also like when you can't do like tweeting stuff in Krita, it's nice to be able to just keep track of just these two things and not have the third thing in there. Just throw them in later. What is this? Oh, here's the 9/11 smoke that doesn't move. But I did bother to animate this fucking rainbow flying, and there you go. Here's Shoop the Whoop, another example where this, he says 4 syllables. I'm not gonna make the program do 4 syllables, so I just, plus you can, he says Shoop, and then whoop, so you can just copy paste the same like O. So there you go. He slides back. That's another fake tweening I did in Krita. Here's his. Have this. So you can go to actual animation tutorials, learn about like 1s versus 2s, but for this, if this moved at 1s, it kind of looks too nauseating. So you just have your one drawing. You can drag it out, so you don't have to actually like have this project file going at like 12 versus 24 frames a second. You can just, it's 24 frames a second, but just have these manually make them on screen for 2, and also just copy paste them. I don't, kind of disappointed with this. I don't think it looks enough like George Bush. Like I didn't accentuate his cheeks enough, really. Kind of looks more like Bill Clinton a little. What's down here? Yeah, Osama. You don't really get to see this, but I like him just looking straight at the camera with his dumb Simpsons eyes. And then him darting his eyes that's frame by frame, but it's the same effect as my like fake tweening where, so this is where he like starts, he gets kind of where he's going, and a little just slightly more to have it kind of ease in. Something you could do is like we could switch like step 3 and 4 here around, so you get that sort of like bounce effect, like they overshoot and come back. I'll do that sometimes. It's same effect of like kind of just adding more life, even though it's not too, I guess not, this isn't groundbreaking animation, but just little things like that to make it look more appealing to look at. And him coming back, I think this is iPod Nano. And this, what I was trying to do is, it's like it slides past, then he comes in. I was trying to go for like another fake 3D thing where like you sort of, so it's like a POV of like him looking at his iPod, and then it kind of like spins back to actually show him dead on from a dance. I put, here's how his headbanging looks with at like 2 frames a second. Here's how that looks without the filters I put over this to try and invoke Movie Maker. Let's see, I think, is this the, yes, this is it. So this is what I was talking about where you don't bucket tool the white. That's supposed to be a part of his head, but it's like its own little thing. I did not fill it in, so now it's orange. And then something really weird is, I guess I may have remembered to do it there, but not here. I don't know how that fucking works. How the, here is, wait, 1, 2. This is our vacuum joke. It's something that doesn't really show up in here, but like if you're just gonna have a still image on screen, like at least have like some kind of either. I mean, this is fine because it's like literally like 2 seconds of just being there, and then it cuts to something else. But what I'd like to do if you're just gonna hold on a still image for really long is just have it like kind of pan, like zoom out, just so there's like movement, some kind of movement. Here is Wii Sports. I guess that's where he starts. that's frame by frame and throwing that. Then my weird hybrid kicks in with a jump. So I didn't quite remember how this looked. This is in, like, when you fuck up Wii Sports Bowling, everyone in the back like jumps. So I was looking it up, trying to remember how it looked, and I was like, oh, please God, I just hope they don't spin around. Please tell me they don't. And they sure enough, they spin around. I was like, fuck, I have to actually draw that. It's more work. Except not even too bad, because it's like 4 frames of them spinning around, and I didn't even change the body, just the head and arm placement, or the ball for their hand. And also, I don't even think they're rendered like this in the bowling. It's didn't earn that cheat. Come down, they see, this is what I was talking about a little earlier with Osama's eyes. They squash down like that to sort of, that's another little effect to sort of punch that up a bit. Here's this. I love being oh, that's right. This is, so you can very easily pinpoint this, where I just got sick of making it, wanted it to be over. There's like barely anything past this point. I just, in this section here, I just flashed a bunch of like actual pictures of stuff from the time on screen, rapid fire. Still image. I don't think 2006 is a little late for this, but I just didn't know what else to put there. Another still image, but see, this is what I was talking about. Like, if it's gonna hold on these still images, the little strobe effects I put in is like bare minimum to like make it like a little, add more life here. Not a total slideshow. Here's their memory book they're looking at. Something funny about this is, so that is the robot baby from the PS3 commercial. Is one last little thing that was actually from 2006, but someone in the comments thought it was Clurf. It was a Clurf. Like, if you know who Schmorky is at all, you would know why that's a pretty insane thing to put in here. But that is not what this is. I thought about putting one in there because that is, like, you know, like, it's like something awful. It's pretty 2000s-ish. I probably could have put it like back up in this like montage here if I wasn't a lazy fuck. But it was not meant to be. And we have, let's see what this is there. Oh yeah, this is where it reveals that they were just 30-year-old fucks looking at memories past. So that's kind of what I wanted to go for with the, so that's what his pink glasses are that he has throughout the video. It's supposed to be literal rose tinted glasses because they wrote the song as a joke, but I don't know, it still kind of fits the mold of like really like superficial nostalgia bait songs. So it's kind of invoking that a little. He has his own lip sync here and like that. And then this is where it fades to black. The Windows Movie Maker credits are not on this, obviously, but they're not actually done in Movie Maker. I don't think there's a way to download it in current day. I don't, like, all the archives I looked up for like how to find it just aren't around anymore, it seems like. So what I did for that was I just like screenshotted a old video that had the Movie Maker, and then just put my own text over it, and then it seems like that tricked people. I don't think anyone noticed unless I like told them. So kind of been away from Krita for a while. Let's see what it is. Oh, this is him sliding back. It's the same thing here to like kind of resize him. Is how I did that, and then just drew the mouth over him. Seems, I think we kind of you kind of get the gist of like how stuff is done. So when we save this, we go to render. You can save it as a video like an MP4, but image sequence here is it saves every individual file or every individual frame of this as its own PNG. So that's how we get the So that's how we're able to keep the transparent effect and just have like a if there's any kind of like walk cycle, it's really useful for that. So you discern like which frame of this is the last one, you name it, file location, all that. And then so for naming it, whatever you want to name it, make sure you put a period at the end of it. So let's pull one up. All right, so here is how that looks. How each frame of this, when rendered as image sequence, looks. It's all in its own folder. It's named .0001 and so on. Look at this fucking shadow ghoul. And so this is how OpenTunes reads image sequences. So if we come in here, we just drag any one of these frames into whatever. See, it can tell that they're all supposed to go together. So every frame that was in that folder gets put in here, and you can, if something needs to be on screen for a certain amount of time, you can drag it like this, and there you go. That's how we get our creative stuff into OpenTunes to do all this crap. And then, so we kind of went in a weird order, but I like to just draw it in creative first, and having just the like audio here is good, so you can like just come back to it, see what you need to put in the animation. And then so yeah, so I'll like draw everything in creative, do that to get in here, and then just drag it around as I need, put the lip sync on, get any like additional assets in here, like just ripping sound effects or whatever. And there you go. That is how I make this garbage. Everything else I made is like done similarly, but I figured this one, like this is the popular one, and it has probably the most going on to look at. So there you go. Hope you learn how easy it is to at least get into animation. Not necessarily like do it good, but it is accessible to anyone with a computer, basically. As long as you just have a computer and like some money, this has never been easier to get into. So hope you enjoyed.